it's always wonderful to be able to come here. The Samuels bring us out for this wonderful event, which people come to participate, which is in memory of Mrs. Samuel's grandparents. In the past, her mother, Mrs. Kahana, was able to join us. Now, her uncle, Rabbi Eisenberger, is here, Rosh Shiva, just to add a little extra pressure on me, like I don't have enough. And it's in memory of the grandparents, Arta Malka Bas Alta Dan, hope I got that right, and Rav Michoel ben Harav Dovid. And this shir and this whole evening and all the brachas that you make on the delicious cookies, and I can't testify to them, but I can tell you the wonderful mushroom soup that has been prepared. So every bracha that you make should be an aliyah and a shamas for all the good that they have done. You know, when a yahrtzeit comes around, it's always an opportunity to reevaluate how much good we do in this world. And you don't even realize it. You turn around every year and you take a look at what all the children and all the grandchildren and all the great-grandchildren have done in your absence. And every year the mitzvahs and the goodness that they continue is all towards your cheshbon and helps you to be even greater. I always reflected on that. Imagine every year they drag up Rashi. Right? He's been going for 1,000 years. How many people learn Chumash and Rashi? How many people learn Gemara and Rashi? How much that he's accomplished in this world, even though he's gone for so many years. So we think that the story ends when the person's life ends, but it doesn't. It continues on. And so this tremendous event, which again is in their schus, should continue to bring them schuyas in Olam Haba. And I always, try to find something that I hope will be meaningful when I speak, especially here in Telz-Stone, because it's one of the most fun groups of people that I get to speak to, Yerushalayim, everyone's kind of uptight, and when we move out, we get to go to Telz-Stone, and every now and then you see a tree. It's one of those things we got rid of in my neighborhood of Har Nov because they were crowding up the buildings. Anyway, so we managed to get rid of them. There was... What? Beautiful. Anyway, so we should. So it's always wonderful to come out. So I figure I was just in America for 2 weeks. I went for, For those who don't know, Michoel is my producer of the Rabbi Orlofsky show, which is reaching thousands and thousands of people. Which is also a credit for this evening for the Niftarim who are up in Shemayim. That whole thing is their credit too. But when I was, he just told me he was in America because his grandfather was having hip replacement. I was in America because I took my daughter, before she has a baby, with my son-in-law who has never been to America, to see America. So what do? What did he see? Did we go to Disneyland? No. Go to the Capitol building? No. Walmart, Target, Bed Bath and Beyond, Burlington. Why else do you go to America? Now that's not all we did. We also went out to eat. But these are the things that has made America great. Make America great again. Open up another restaurant. But anyway, this is the amazing experience that we had. So in Bed Bath & Beyond, they had a little Hanukkah section there, and I couldn't resist. There was this sign, you write in chalk on it, X days left till Hanukkah. On the other side it says X day of Hanukkah. Now, what home does not need that? You understand? Does this not serve an essential function in every Jewish home? So we're very close. We're very close to Hanukkah, first night. Yeah, Sunday night, a week from tomorrow. We'll be lighting our candles and starting on that process. So I thought it's just a week away. We really should. We've never spoken about Hanukkah. Yeah, so we should do it. And like I say, they always say about the Chagim, they're either early or late, but they're never on time. And this year is as close to on time as you can get. Rosh Chodesh Elul was September 1st, so everything lines up perfectly, Baruch Hashem. I remember I had 1 year, I used to do these trips to Europe, the Sivas tours, and we always went Thanksgiving weekend. And one weekend, Hanukkah came out on Thanksgiving weekend. I was so early. I said, what are we going to do? He says, we'll go to Greece. But anyway, go see the story firsthand. But anyway, it's but this year, Baruch Hashem, we're more or less on schedule. We'll fall behind eventually, but right now we're doing okay. So you got to really reflect on Hanukkah, right? Now, if we want to really understand Hanukkah, there are a few places to go and look that would give us insight. One is, of course, the famous Gemara, My Hanukkah, which is in the second parak of Shabbos. Why is it there? Says the Chassam Sofer. Rabbi Yehuda Nossi left Hanukkah out of the Mishnah because since he came from Beis Dovid, and the Malchus is supposed to stay with Beis Dovid, and the Chashmonoim usurped the kingship, so he was upset and he left them out of the Mishnah. And so it had to be a brisa, B'Mem Adlikim, where they talk about lighting the Shabbos candles, throwing about lighting the Hanukkah candles. Yeah, but there it tells the story a little bit of Hanukkah and different dinim. That's one place. And the other place is, of course, Al Hanisim, which you say when you daven and if you bench. I've had to change that over the years. I used to say when you daven and when you bench. However, I am working on my doctoral thesis on psychological problems that afflict the Orthodox community. There are three major ones that I've been able to identify. Yeah, the first one is called phobia. This is the fear of becoming fleischiks. I find that Jews of German origin suffer from this less, but you can see people who have phobia. It's pretty dramatic. It's like you're making the soup. You say, "You want to taste the soup?" No. I'll be fleischik. What if I want a coffee or ice cream? I just can't. It's a 6-hour commitment. You know what I'm saying? Then you wonder why there's a shidduch crisis. You know what I'm saying? A 6-hour commitment gets people crazy. You know what I mean? Or you see something and say, "You want to taste this?" And the person goes like this. Yeah, okay. So the fear of becoming fleischiks is really quite dramatic, yeah? The second one is benchophobia. This is the fearing of having to bench. Now, this is a new phenomena. This did not exist. I think fleischophobia was always around, but this did not exist in my past generations. I know my father, every time he sat down to eat, yeah, it's interesting. You look in Mishnah Berurah and he counts the 100 brachas. It always includes 2 sudas where you wash and you have bread and you bench. You know what I mean? And my father always have a piece of bread. My father-in-law wouldn't sit down to a meal without a piece of bread. Yeah, Rabbi Peleg, who's the Rav of Shari Tzedek, said many years ago. He asked Rabbi Yoshev, "What bracha you make on a schnitzel?" Now, the reason this is a question, and I go to America, I have to explain this, because people confuse a schnitzel with a chicken cutlet. A chicken cutlet is where you take a piece of chicken, you bread it, you put breadcrumbs or matzah meal on it, and you lightly fry it on both sides. Take that same chicken cutlet, beat it till it's 4 times its original size, soak it in oil until if you put it in a wick, you could recreate the Hanukkah miracle. And that's a schnitzel. You understand? So back in the old days, a schnitzel was mostly bread. There was a tiny little bit of chicken. You know what I mean? It's like Osam used to make 2 types of soup mixes. One was parv and one was fleishik. And the fleishik one, they used to take a pulki and dip it in like a tea bag. You know what I mean? So I say, "Oh, this one's now fleishik." So I know somebody who once had it and he says, "Oh, I added this something." Milk goes, "Don't worry about it. There's not enough chicken in there to do anything." But anyway, so that's a schnitzel. So he says, "What bracha do you make on a schnitzel?" Because it was mostly breading. He says, "I don't know. What's a schnitzel?" So he goes over to the Rebbe and he says, "The Rav never had a schnitzel?" He says, "Tell him it's what he had for lunch." So he says, "Schnitzel?" He says, "Why would anyone just eat a schnitzel? You wash and have a schnitzel." Nobody would just pick up a schnitzel and eat it. I remember Shavuos. I grew up in my house. We had the minhag of eating milchigs Shavuos night, and came to Eretz and everyone said, no, of course not. No, you don't. You have fleischiks, it's yontif. In the morning you get a piece of cheesecake. But of course not. So okay, I was bullied into changing my family's minhag, and then I davened in Rav Kreisworth's minyan in Harnof, and his grandson told me, he says, "What do you mean? He always eats milchigs Shavuos night. So does the stipler." I was like, aha. My dad was right again. So we went back to our thing. So we were making all these wonderful, for Shavuos night, these wonderful treats, lasagna and onion soup and, all the good, yummy, milchiga things, And it was a Friday night Shavuos, so I was cooking the schnitzels for lunch already. And when you cook those schnitzels and they first come out, so my daughter, she couldn't help. She just took one and popped it in her mouth. I said, "What are you doing? We're having milchigs tonight." And she sat there. My son made her some eggs, and she cried. That Shavuos. That's actually when she developed a phobia, if you want to know. Yeah. But, so she says, just take a schnitzel, you wash, and you sit down. Yeah, that's how everyone used to have a Suda. Today, when a person sits down, and I've seen this over and over again, the first thing is, do you want to wash? I have rice cakes, crackers, Mazonis rolls, Mazonis bread. I will never bench again. Because we know how long it takes people, especially if you have teenagers. Can I go? You didn't bench. I'll do it again. Can I go? There's something about benching that just terrifies me. I think it's because we've been traumatized, because since kids are 4, they've been using that unbelievably annoying tune. Oh, and by the end, you and teenagers to sing the benching, it is just so horrible to see. It's such a difficult tune. That's when we hit Noda, we just gave up. So I think that's the trauma. But benchophobia is the second one. Yeah. The third one, which doesn't come in for today, is Mishkanophobia. If anything to do with the Mishkan, everybody just, their eyes glaze over. Just mention the Mishkan, pull out one of those little models or charts, and just watch everyone go, their eyes go out of focus, So, but benchophobia. So when you daven or if you bench, you will come to Alanisim. And what is Alanisim? Yeah. May Matis Yob and Yochanan Kohen Gadol Chashmonai Yovonov. Kishon the Malchus Yovan Rosh Am Chayisrael Shkichim Torah Secha Avim Beichuk Eretzenecha. The Greeks came to destroy us. And we won. It was good for you. It was good for us. Then we came into the base of English, we cleaned it up, we lit the candles, and we established these 8 days to thank and praise Hashem. I have read through Alanisim many, many times. And what is missing? There is absolutely no reference to the dreidel. The ubiquitous dreidel. And it's so interesting. I do podcasts, as we mentioned, and before Rosh Hashanah, I referred to the ubiquitous apple and honey, on Rosh Hashanah. Ubiquitous just means it's all over the place. There's a lot of it, I got an email from an English teacher who says that she shows my podcast to her class to teach them big words. That's called vocabulary. Anyway, so the ubiquitous dreidel. Everywhere you see there are dreidels. Yeah. A kid comes back, I ask people what they learned from their Jewish education, secular Jews, who've had like a Hebrew school. What do you remember? Dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay. That's it. That's their entire Judaism. Yeah, dreidel is it's everywhere. My grandchildren are 2 years old, and they were somehow, if you could recognize all the words, singing Sivivon. Yeah, somehow it comes out. Yeah, and I just want to take a moment to speak about dreidel, if I can, because it was a traumatic moment in my life. I can't really afford therapy, so I just talk about my problems in public and work them out. Yeah. I went to the Hebrew Academy of Nassau County, and before Hanukkah, it was always great because they would give us dreidels, and we would get to play with them in class. So what could be better than that? You miss school, you get something free. It's like just the best, yeah? So I think it was about 4th grade. They give me a dreidel. And I said, Rebbe, the dreidel is defective because there's no shin. For some reason, there's a pay on it. He said, well, this is a new and improved dreidel. Yeah? Because we always used to say, Ness Gadol Haya Shum, but this comes from Eretz Ness Gadol Haya Po. I said, that's ridiculous. I want my old dreidel back. You know what I mean? So he says, no. It makes a lot of sense. Because when you get on a shin, what are you supposed to do? Pay. This is one of the many ridiculous things that people say to try to prove a point that makes no sense. Somebody was explaining to me why you should celebrate Thanksgiving, because after all, turkey in Hebrew is hodu. So you eat a turkey, give thanks, you see? It's obvious, yeah? Somebody pointed out if you make a gematria out of the ABC, A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals C. So the word G-O-D in gematria equals 26, the same as Yud K Vav K. Means nothing. It's ridiculous. But people are like, wow, that's amazing. No, it's not. But anyway, so I was always upset, I have to go to America to find dreidels that still have a shin on them. You know what I mean? Bring them back. I'm not giving my children pay. That's not what we did for thousands of years. And I'm just upset that they felt like they had to change it. But anyway, so there's no mention of dreidel. So, of course, people say, well, what do you expect them to say? And they played with dreidels, It doesn't fit into the story. But that's not what I mean, of course. I mean the concept of what the dreidel represented in the story. So what does that mean? I'm turning to Rabbi Yitzchak Share in his Lekha Sichos Musa Chelik Beis, where he talks about this. Open parentheses. I spoke 2 or 3 times in a community. I don't want to mention where. And the 3rd time I came, the guy said, you know what? I really enjoy your drushes, but the best thing you ever did is you introduced me to Yitzchak Isaac Sher. I went out and bought the Lekha Sichos Musa, and I had said that every single piece that I ever read was meaningful to me. He said, me too. So if you're looking for Chelik Aleph is on the Parshios, Chelik Beis is on Yom Tovim, and he's got a Yudim on Mesilas Yesharim and other things. It's just tremendous. Anyway, so he says like this, where did the dreidel fit into the story? We all remember this when we were kids. Where does the dreidel fit into the story? So the Greeks come to Eretz Yisrael originally under the leadership of Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was conquering the entire world, and he comes to Eretz Yisrael. Now, Sir Edward Creasy, in his classic work, The 15 Decisive Battles of World History, and it's a fascinating book if you enjoy anything about military history. It's interesting. Years later, this was put out in the 1850s, I bought a book called The 100 Decisive Battles of World History, and in his introduction, he agrees that Edward Creasy had it right. Those were the 15 most important ones that changed the course of history. He says, but some of them, it was before the Battle of Waterloo, it was before other battles that were important, But, so in one of them, he describes how Alexander the Great defeated Darius of Persia, and he said, Alexander's entire army wasn't even as big as Darius's right wing, but they were so powerful they were able to just destroy the entire Persian army. That's how strong they were. So they come into Eretz Yisrael. So okay, what are we supposed to do? We're not going to fight these people. We don't stand a chance. So Shimon HaTzadik, Kohen Gadol, puts on his Kohen Gadol clothes, and he goes to Alexander the Great and to surrender. And Alexander the Great bows down to him. And he says, Alex, that's not how it works. Okay, you're supposed to, I'm supposed to bow down to you and surrender. He goes, every time I went to fight a battle, somebody dressed in your clothing came and told me what to do. That's how I was victorious. So he said, you may rise. And Alexander said, okay, I'm going to conquer you. We're going to take over Israel, but we're going to give you independence. You guys can basically make your own decisions, self-determination, run your own thing, but we're going to be in charge. Oh, well, that's fine. The problem is that, of course, when the Greeks came in, they brought with them Greek culture, theater, literature, universities, sports, all the things that we associate today with what we call Western civilization, the Greeks developed, and they brought it in. And this was amazingly attractive. Josephus writes, we Jews are not given to the writing of many books, and other forms of entertainment. The Torah has always been our source of entertainment. That's what we do for fun. We learn Torah. Yeah. But the Greeks came in and offered something that was different. And people were being pulled away from it. Yeah. Jews underwent an operation, some Jews, because they used to wrestle naked in the gymnasiums and they were embarrassed that they had a bris milah. They would go through an operation to make it look like they were not mahul. This operation was so painful that they would kill themselves from the pain. But they were willing to do it because they wanted desperately to fit in with the Greeks. They wanted to become Greek. They wanted to become part of the dominant culture and fit in with everything. And so bit by bit, the Jews were becoming assimilated. They were becoming Hellenized. Yeah? So, as Rav Dessler writes, when you show that you want to, if you show you want to become Hellenized, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help you along. And so the Greeks made a decree, now you have to be Hellenized. Now you have to become Greek. And no more learning Torah, and no more keeping Shabbat. And the majority of the Jews went along with this. There was a small group of fanatics who refused. And they ran up into the mountains and they hid to learn Torah. And when they saw the Greeks were coming, they would hide their books, and or their scrolls, I should say, and they would take out dreidels and pretend that they were running an illegal casino. And that was okay. We were okay with that, you know what I mean? Yeah, Greek soldier plays a couple of bets, you know what I mean? And when they left, they would take out their svarim. I once heard somebody say today, it's the opposite, boys are in their room playing whatever game it is, and then when the Rosh Hashiva comes, they hide them and take out their svarim, you know what I mean? So it makes you wonder who won. But this is what was happening. And the Jews were hanging up in the mountains, and they were hiding and trying to remain Jews. Did they do anything wrong? Of course not. Yeah, Jews during the Holocaust, their goal was to stay alive. Right? On rare occasions, they could join the partisans, but the partisans were just as quick to kill them as the Germans were. So it wasn't much of an option. So you hid. You wanted to survive. That was the goal. We'll defeat them by surviving. That's what we had to do. So they stayed up there, and they waited, and they waited. And the Beis HaMikdash had pigs on the Mizbeach, and the menorah was dark, and the Beis HaMikdash was deserted. What could you do? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. After 3 years, a small band from these fanatics, asked a question. They said, can we go out and fight the Greeks? They said, I don't understand. You think you're going to defeat the Greeks? No. But we want to show the world that there are still Jews who care enough to die for what they believe in. Are we allowed to fight the Greeks on what is, in essence, a suicide mission? And if we do, is that just suicide? Not just suicide. And then we did the wrong thing. Or is it mutter? So they say, this shayla was asked before. Hanani, Mishael, and Azariah were 3 Jews who were selected. 3 people from every country, from every people were selected to bow down to this giant statue of the Nebuchadnezzar. Hanani, Mishael, and Azariah were chosen from the Jews. And they asked the same question. What should we do? And the advice they got was run away and hide. And they said, do we have to run away and hide? Or could we stand up and refuse to bow down, knowing we'll be thrown into a kivshin ha'esh? Is that called dying as kiddush Hashem, or is that just called suicide? So Yecheskel HaNavi says, I have a Messiah from Yirmiyahu, has a Messiah from Yeshayahu, that says when there is danger, run away and hide, but if you want to, you can face it. And so Hanani, Mishael, and Azariah stood up and said, we will not bow down. They were thrown into the kivshin ha'esh, and miraculously they survived. So the Chashmonaim said, we're under no such an illusion. We don't expect to be able to get that kind of a miracle. But nonetheless, let the world see that there are still Jews who are willing to give up their life for what they believe in. And so they prepared to do battle against the Greek Empire. This small group, Zaydim biyadois keisar esecha. They were Torah scholars. They were not skilled in the art of warfare. Yeah, there's no proof that they were in particularly good physical shape. Based on the yeshiva guys that I have seen over the years, I would say there's a chazaka that they were not in particularly good physical shape. Yeah? And they get ready, and Yehuda Maccabee gives them a musa shmuz, and they're betzoim, because when you go to Malka, you're supposed to be betzoim. And they go to attack their first Greek platoon, battalion, whatever it was. And here they come running down the hill. Hoy! Moshe, the spear's the other way. Shkoich! Hoy! Now, if I was a Greek soldier and I see this rather unimpressive band coming towards me, I don't think that I would be too frightened, yeah? And so they drew their swords and they engaged in battle, and the Jews won. And they killed everybody. Now here they were all psyched, ready to die as Kiddush Hashem. And instead they won. They were very disappointed. I don't know if you understand the psychological underpinnings. They took about a brisker who was captured in Nebuch by terrorists, and they were going to kill him. He said, you're going to kill me? He says, yeah, because I'm a Jew? He says, I have to make a bracha. Wait a second. Baruch is the brisker. Anyway, this went on for a while. By the time it was done, now Kiddush Hashem. The terrorist is sitting here the whole time watching and says, you're out of your mind. He says, there's no point in killing somebody who's crazy. I'm not going to kill you. And he goes, no. So here all the Chashmonaim are looking at you, they're going, no. So he says, it's a tzur Rabbi Isai. Like all famous Jewish characters, he spoke Yiddish. He says, yahrtzeits, it could be, ken zayin, that there is a concept called beginner's luck. So tomorrow we'll find a bigger platoon, we'll attack, and in Mitzvah Shem, you all get killed. Okay? Shkoyach. Yeah. Comes the next day again, and Musa Shmuz, and then they come out, and they win a second time. And they say, Yehuda, you're the worst general we've ever had. Here we go, trying to get killed, let's get Hashem, and you keep winning. So he says, Ken Zayin, it could be that we're going to win. He says, what do you mean we'll win? Nobody can beat the Greeks. Certainly not us. He says, look, Mamanushach, yeah? Tomorrow we'll attack a very, very large encampment. Either we'll defeat them, and I'm right, or we'll all get killed. It's a win-win. You understand this? There's no downside here. So the next day they get ready, and they run off and attack an entire encampment, and they win. And they're like, wow, that's unexpected. Yeah? And the Greeks are shocked. It's like, 25 yeshiva guys over there with spears, you know what I mean? And they're wiping out our army. So they put a big army together and boom, they wipe it out. They come with elephants, boom, they wipe it out. And they start winning one after another. And they finally get to the base of Mikdash. It's not even a menorah. They have to make a temporary menorah, get in, they have to straighten the place up, be able to start bringing korbanos, and the first avodah, going into the evening, was to light the menorah. And Yehuda Maccabee says, find me tahar oil. And they said, Yehuda, look at this place. There's no tahar oil here. He says, find me tahar oil. He says, didn't you hear the song? They were matame all that. This was part of their battle plan. Spartacus, Eradicus, hepatitis, let's go, yeah? Every time they found oil, tummy. General, I found the jar, tummy. There is no tahar oil. It's going to take us 8 days to get oil. Either because 1 day, 7 days to become tahar and then a day to make the oil, or 4 days to get the gush chalav to get the oil and come back. But anyway, you slice it, there's no tahar oil. Find me tahar oil. Listen, there's a principle called tumah hutra barabim. If everybody is tumah, you're allowed to do the avodah b'tumah. Find me tahar oil. Okay, this guy's crazy. All right, everyone, find him tahar oil. And they start searching. And one guy comes in and he says, wow, you're not going to believe this. I found a jar, and it's sealed with the seal of the Kohen Gadol. He says, no, the Kohen Gadol doesn't seal oil. He says, he sealed this one. Take a look. Give him a kick for stutzuch. Yeah. This is tahar oil. How much is in there? Enough for 1 day. So they say to him, listen, okay, it's going to take us 8 days. So let's not be rash. Yeah. Just pour in a small amount. You don't really have to put in the full amount. Put in a small amount, then that's kosher. Put it all in. He said, okay, you want it to burn all night? No problem, says the Beis Halevi. Make thinner wicks. And then you make thinner wicks and put in all the oil and put in all the wicks. I said, what's going to be tomorrow? It's going to be tomorrow. Says the Gemara in Shabbos. What is the mitzvah of Hanukkah? Na'eshu beiso. Every house lights 1 candle every day. That's it. Not everybody in the house. Not 8 candles, just 1. Mahadran, if you want to do it Mahadran, everyone in the house lights 1 candle. You want to do it Mahadran, Mina Mahadran? Oh, that's already Machlekes Beis Hillel Beis Shammai. Beis Shammai says first day you light 8 candles, then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beis Hillel says the first day you light 1 candle, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Search in vain through halacha for anything that is similar to this. We have b'di'evet and l'chatchila. We have hidur mitzvah. But I won't be able to make this joke much longer because they're going to go out of business. But Sears, used to have 3 sugim. They had good, better, and best. Yeah. So this is kosher. This is more kosher. This is super duper kosher. Do you ever find mahadran any place in halacha? Today you find it in restaurants. But you never saw this. Mahadran, mina mahadran? This is kosher, this is more kosher, this is best kosher. Not only that, everybody does the mitzvah mahadran, mina mahadran. Do you ever walk in somebody's house on the 4th night of Hanukkah, see 1 candle burning? Say, what's going on? It's kosher. It's kosher. Well, I do mahadran, mina mahadran, yeah. So yeah. Everybody. The people in America who use the electric menorahs turn on another light bulb every day. You understand? Even they're doing a mahadran and a mahadran. Why is that? They say to Yehuda Maccabee, we only have 1 pach shemen, enough for 1 day. Why do you want to throw it all away? And he said to them, oh, now you're practical. You told me you had a tight on me, I couldn't get you killed. You understand? You all wanted to die in battle, the glorious Kiddush Hashem. You defeated the Greek army. You redeemed the Beis HaMikdash. Now when it comes to the Avodas Hashem, suddenly you're practical? Now you want to start cutting corners? All of a sudden when it comes to Avodas Hashem, now is when you decided to be practical? You were ready to kill yourself? You just defeated the Greek army? What's going to be tomorrow? I have no idea what's going to be tomorrow. You shouldn't even be here. You should all be dead. So somehow you got this miraculous thing, and now when it comes to halacha, suddenly you want to be practical? They were not mechuyev to fight this war. They fought a war mahadran min mahadran. They didn't have to fight it. There is no way to celebrate Hanukkah kosher. The only way to celebrate is mahadran min mahadran. Because all of Hanukkah is mahadran min mahadran. It never should have happened. We should have stayed up in the mountains and waited till a bigger army came along and defeated the Greeks, or wait until there was a new king who changed the decree. The way the Jews have survived for centuries. There was no reason for us to go out and fight this war. It was a suicide mission. And there certainly was no reason we should have won. All of Hanukkah is mahadran min mahadran. And because of that, the only way to celebrate is mahadran min mahadran. Which means Hanukkah is a holiday for fanatics. You have to ask yourself the following question. And that's what Hanukkah is all about. I always say, when you light that menorah, you have to be looking at it in a new way. I once said, you can't light the same menorah every year. Someone said to me, sure, because those fireproof glasses explode. So you have to buy a new one. But I said, yeah, but that's true. But not exactly the point I was making. What I mean is that, as Rav Hutner says, time is a spiral. You come back to the same points, but it always has to be on a higher level. You have to have another understanding. When we light those Hanukkah candles, when we look at Hanukkah, we say to ourselves, how much of a b'diavad existence do I want to live? Is it good enough? It's good enough. It's good enough. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. And it's absolutely amazing. Because in no area of our life are we content for good enough. Right? I'm sure people here must have done some type of renovation in your house. Nobody is as crazy as people who do renovations. You can see women in their purse carrying around, those little cards with beige on it. The paint store, there's like 5 shades of beige, and they have like 300 cards. And they stop strangers on the street. And they pull out a piece of carpeting and says, which one do you think goes best with this? Because, and then they paint it, they go, no, that's not the right shade, we have to remix it, we have to do it again, we have to move everything around, and it's not like this, oh no, they didn't put this in right, and when they're all done, they finally have it. Yeah. I have 8 daughters, thank you very much, and 1 daughter-in-law and a wife. A simcha in my house is a tragedy because there is no continent that has dresses for my entire family. They have to go and search the world to find dresses. And it's a very difficult process because, first of all, you have to be sewn into the dress because if you can exhale, then it's no good. You know what I mean? You have to get this on, And, there has to be just absolutely perfect, so that you can take that picture with the rose. So they're searching and searching to find the perfect dress. Now, just equal opportunity. I went into America, into a hat store. I bought 2 hats, 2 suits, 3 shirts, and 2 pairs of shoes. And this one guy just keeps trying on hats. He couldn't find the right hat. He had 2 friends with him advising him, He was like, can you shave it around like a little bit over here? Can you change the ribbon? Can you, And I said to the guy, I've never seen anything like this. He goes, really? Because he was here yesterday with 2 other people trying to find the perfect hat. People go out to eat. They order a steak. They say whatever it is, medium. They say medium, whatever it is. It's too red. It's too red. Send it back. Tell me something. No, then it'll be too much. No, send it back. Don't eat this, That's not how I take my steak. No, my steak has to be just like And they spend so much time. And at the end you say, so how did the living room come out? Perfect. And how was your dress? Perfect. And how was your hat? Perfect. And how's your life? Okay. How's your marriage? Not bad. How's the relationship with your kids? It could be better. But the steak was perfect. Nobody wants just okay. I was online in a pizza store in America. They haven't changed the menu since the Yom Kippur War. You know what I mean? Letters are missing. It's all covered with grease stains. It's the same stuff. And a guy walks in there. He goes in this pizza place between 3 and 5 times a week. And is staring. Do I want a calzone? Maybe a salad? And people are like, there's a line. He goes, hey, this is lunch. I don't want to order just anything. Because everything in our life has to be perfect except our life itself. And when it comes to life itself, it's okay. When it comes to our avodas Hashem, it's okay. It's good enough. Hanukkah says no. So let's go back to my dreidel. We always said Nes Gadol Haya Shum. You know why? Because there's one thing about Shum. You know where Shum is? It's not Po. It's over there. It's Shum. Yeah? Shum means it's not Po, by definition. Chanuka Nes Gadol Haya Shum. What does that mean? Okay, so Shum is the same osios as shame. Right? So everybody knows this one. It's in the art scroll. At the end of Shmona Esrei, you're supposed to say a pasuk with your name in it. Yeah? Why? Because otherwise, when you get up to Shemayim, you'll forget your name. That will be so awkward. Next. What's your name? I used to know this. What do you think? Happy birthday to you. Happy. I don't know. And for the rest of eternity, you're sitting on a little bench going, Tom? Phil? Doesn't seem right, Of course that's not what it means. It means you know what your name is, Po, but you know what your shame is, Shum, parenthetically, Shamayim. My spiel said it was brought down, Shamayim is the plural Shum. All the Shums is Shamayim. When you get to the ultimate Shum, Shamayim, do you know what your shame is? Do you know that you're a posik in Tanakh? And if you don't say it, then you don't know it. A pasuk in Tanakh, you're part of the essential fabric of the universe, or, that's my name. My name is this, my name is that, But I know what my name is, Po. I don't know what my shame is, Shum. Up in Shamayim. And suddenly you realize that Shum words pop up a lot of places in Hanukkah. Shemen, Shmona, Chashmanayim. Yeah? Ner Nishama. Nishama goes up to Shamayim. Nes Gadol Haya Shum. It wasn't Nes Gadol Haya Po. Because if we were Po, we would have hidden out in the mountains and waited. Nes Gadol Haya Shum. Because we wanted to go someplace else. We were going to go beyond that. Not today, I'm not going to kill you with Har Sinai. But you're not going to have a Shum because you have to live your life not Po, you have to live your life Shum. I'm going someplace. I'm on a journey. I have something that I'm trying to accomplish. Shamayim. This is the koyach of Hanukkah. And so, what's shemen? So, I always like to give healthy little tips to people. Yeah. So, the correct way to make a salad. I happen to have studied this once. And you first start with the greens, which you are supposed to tear and not cut. Yeah. And you tear the leaves. And then you mix up your salad dressing, but you mix up all the ingredients except for the oil. You put the oil on the leaves first and toss them, and then you mix up the other ingredients in the cruet and you pour it on top so that it coats it and sticks to it. Because if you put it all together in the same cruet, we all know oil will separate and rise to the top. It doesn't mix. The reason commercial salad dressings stay together is if you look at the ingredients, you'll find xanthium gum, which I really don't know what that is, but Somehow it holds everything together, yeah, and helps make your salad chewy. You can blow bubbles with it. But in any event, yeah, it holds it all together. Because given all of your ingredients, you shake it up, you'll slowly watch the oil rise above. You know why? Because the oil is Shum. This world is 6. Maharal, Gvurus, Hashem. This world is 6, 4 directions, up and down. What fills this world with meaning is 7. That's Shabbos. Yeah, that's where it all comes together. What's outside of this world is Shmona. It's Shum. It's not Po. 8 is always more. It's beyond. Yeah. Or if you like this better, Sheva is Sova. I'm full. Shmeina is more than full. Because you're not here, you're there. Whatever works for you. But in any event, all of Hanukkah is not about living here, it's about living beyond. Dreaming your dreams. Dreaming your dreams. Many times parents used to say to me, their kid would go off to Israel, learn in yeshiva, learn in seminary, they come back and they say, oh, my kid's a fanatic now. Kid's a fanatic. I'd say, don't worry, it's just a phase. They'll grow out of it and become apathetic, not care about anything about Judaism, just like you. Sometimes they say, oh, good. Because strip away your dreams. My misspent youth, I grew up in day school in America. We used to listen to music besides Pirchei, if you could imagine, So this guy, Cat Stevens, had this song, Father and Son, where the father sings to the son and the son responds. But he says the end, he says, you will still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. And my generation, I guess, is so upset. I want to strip away your dreams. Yeah. Because, just be like everybody else. Dreams, fantasies, it's make-believe. Here and now. Focus on what's important. Find a girl, get a job. If you want, you may marry. You will still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. I ran the Long Island region of NCSY. When I started, they had gone through 5 directors in 2 years. It was deader than dead, because you walk into a place and say, hi, I'm from NCSY, get out! It's like, we've had 5 of you people already. You plan a Shabbaton and then you quit, and the next guy comes along, he plans a Shabbaton, he quits. It's been going on for 2 years, So I went around meeting with everybody to a general sense of hostility, and everybody explained to me why it would never work. And I remember Rabbi Belitsky, who was the Rav of the Young Israel of New Hyde Park, and he says to me, Bacher, you really think you're going to do this? And I said, yes, Rabbi, I think I will. He says, Bacher, you know you're out of your mind? I said, yes, Rabbi, I do. He said, good, because nothing in this world has ever been accomplished by a sane person. And I thought, wow. So I told this story over once, and somebody told me a story, which I did not check out. I'm not Pesach Krohn. I hear something and I say it over. Could be it's true, could be not, But the Panovich Rav was speaking to Yechezkel Sarna. I think it was Bramsky you heard? I thought it was Yechezkel Sarna. But anyway, he takes him to this desert that would one day be the city of Bnei Brak. It was the Mamash desert. And he says, see that hill over there? That's where I'm going to build the yeshiva. And over here I'm going to build the Beis Yaakov. And here I'm going to build an orphanage. And here I'm going to, and he was planning out this whole city in the middle of the desert. And Yechezkel Sarna went back to Yerushalayim and sent a psychiatrist to come and see him because he thought he must have lost his mind in the war, that he just went crazy. Yeah? Because if you can't dream dreams, if you can't look beyond the Po and see the Shum, then who's going to go out and try anything? Who's going to go out and fight anything? Who's going to build in this world? Nothing's been accomplished by a sane person. And that's why when I started NCSY, and everyone told me it's never going to work, and they explained to me why it wouldn't work. After 2 years, everyone explained to me how they could have done it better. You understand? But first it was clear it couldn't be done. It just couldn't be done. And that's how it works. First it can't be done, and then they could do it better, But you have to dream dreams. You have to have aspirations. You have to be able to move beyond yourself and beyond this world. Anybody who's done anything good in this world, it's only because they were able to dream their dreams. They were able to move beyond. Yeah. We're here tonight celebrating the fact that there were two people who built a Yiddish mishpacha in a world where it was very hard. And they planted in very hard soil. Yeah. When the first Jewish settlers moved to Petach Tikva, it was a swamp. And they were like, "What are you guys doing here?" He said, "We're going to build a farm." He says, "We have a tradition from our parents that nothing grows here." He said, "We have a tradition from our parents that'll grow for us." Yeah. So there have to be people who have to be a little crazy to go out into a swamp and build a farm. There have to be people who are willing to go out into a midbar to be able to keep Yiddishkeit alive and to be able to build it. You have to be able to have dreams. You have to not be po, you have to be shum. You have to be more than who you are. That's what Hanukkah is all about. Mitzvah Hashem. As we look at those candles, and if you look at the flame hovering above the oil, not quite here, that ner neshama, it's here and it's not there. Yeah? And it's sitting on the oil that's floating above the water. The whole Hadlokas Neiros is Shum. The whole Chanuka is Shum. Ness Gadol Haya SHAM. In Mitzvah Hashem, all of us will be Zoicha this year to be able to lift ourselves out of this world above, beyond, into the 8, out of the confines of this world, into the Shmona. That is the Ness of Chanukkah. And in Mitzvah Hashem, all of us this year should be able to be Zoicha to that emes light of Hanukkah.